So next is fuel. So although we have done little bit about the fuel, I have given you basic idea what is fuel exactly, but now we need to proceed further along with the definition and the classification. So first of all, we need to proceed with the definition. So what is fuel exactly? Substances which gives heat energy on burning in the presence of air. So particular combustible substance which is undergoing combustion under the required conditions and producing heat energy, that is called as fuel. Fine. So let's proceed further with the classification of fuel. So first of all, first classification is with us on the basis of their sources. So on the basis of sources of the fuels are categorized into two categories. First of all, primary fuel, another one is secondary fuel. So primary fuels, very primary source of the fuel is what? On the basis of their sources, primarily from where we are getting directly. For example, primary fuels, the same wave that is we are getting from the nature, जैसे कि वो nature में आकर है, same we are taking out from the nature. उसमें कुछ हमें physical chemical processes we are not going to add up to going to manufacturing of that into the certain kind of the things. को कुछ और हम modify नहीं कर रहे. We are not going taking to that fuel for any other further modification. So that is the primary fuels. So occur in same form as they occur in nature. For example, wood, coal, agricultural waste, natural gas and animal dungs. Fine. So these are the primary fuels which we are getting directly from the natures, and nature from we are getting from, for example, living say we are getting nature living. Fine. Secondary fuels are obtained from the natural fuels. When प्राइमरी फ्यूल्स को क्या करा जा रहा है, आगे मॉडिफाई करा जा रहा है, देन वी आर गेटिंग सेकेंडरी फ्यूल्स obtained from the natural fuels by various physical and chemical processes. For example, water gas and producer gas from coke. Water gas is produced from the coke. Certain physical and chemical processes are added up for making that water gas. Then coal gas from coal, biogas from animal dungs, and coke from coal petrol. For example, coke from where we are getting? Coal. पेट्रोल कहाँ से ले रहे हैं? केरोसिन, डीजल, all we are getting from the petroleum. So these are the secondary fuels which we are getting from where? From the modification of the primary fuels. Primary fuel को we are what doing? We are doing that certain modification by applying some physical and chemical processes, and we are getting these secondary fuels. So on the basis of sources, fuels are of two categories, primary and secondary. Another kind of the fuel classification is on the basis of their physical state. So we guys are well aware about states of matter. कितनी स्टेट है मैटर की? सॉलिड, लिक्विड एंड गैस. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली लार्ज रेंज पे द स्टेट्स विच वी आर डीलिंग विद, दैट इज सॉलिड, लिक्विड एंड गैसेस. Other are also there. You are going to study those states in the higher classes, but till now solid, liquid and gas. So on the basis of physical state, solid fuel is there and liquid fuel. Another one is gaseous fuel. So first of all, along with solid fuel, what are the solid fuels? So in the case of solid fuels, leaves some ash or residue after combustion. जो हमारे पास solid fuel है, solid fuels are those fuels which leaves out some kind of ashes or residues after combustions. तो जब उन चीजों को जलाया जा रहा है, they are undergoing that particular kind of combustion, they are leaving out some residue. For example, wood and coal. तो wood is also leaving ash and coal is also leaving ash along with the production of smoke. Next is liquid fuel. So liquid fuels at room temperature, they do not leave any residue. So these are the fuels which are very important. They are not going to pollute anymore because they are not going to leave any kind of residue. For example, kerosene, petrol and diesel. Fine. So another is natural gas, hydrogen and coal gas are examples. So in case of this thing, we have I have told you, like liquid gases, it is not like they are not going to pollute, they are not going to leave any residue. It means the residual pollution, solid waste, they are not giving us. So in that way these are good कि they are not going to give us solid waste, और they are, और उनका जो फ्यूल का वो एफिशिएंसी रहता है, प्रोडक्शन ऑफ हीट इज क्वाइट गुड एज कंपेयर टू सॉलिड. वी आर आल्सो गोइंग टू कंपेयर दिस इन नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. अनदर वन इज गैसियस फ्यूल. जो नेचुरल गैसेस हैं, they are not going to pollute environment because natural environmental friendly हैं. They are the natural gases are very very good example of gaseous fuels, and for example hydrogen and coal gas are the example of these gaseous fuels. So on the basis of physical state, fuels are classified on the basis of state: solid, liquid, gas. Same as solid fuel, liquid fuel, gaseous fuel. Solid are going to leave residue, liquids are not going to leave any residue, and gas is obviously not leaving any residue, and they are natural in nature. Fine. So next, along with this, we need to proceed further with the third classification on the basis of their uses. So we are going to use these also. So on the basis of uses, fuel are classified into two different categories. One is renewable and another one is non-renewable. So renewable, as its name indicate, renew, किसी चीज को क्या करना, वापस से क्या कर लेना, रिन्यू कर लेना, रीयूज करना. एंड नॉन रिन्यूएबल विच आर नॉट गोइंग टू रीयूज और रिन्यू, उनको बनाना नॉट दैट मच इजी. सो लेट्स सी द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ रिन्यूएबल एंड नॉन रिन्यूएबल. Renewable fuels can be used over a longer time as they never exhaust unless they over exploited. Unless until अगर उनका यूज नेचुरल तरीके से, नॉर्मल, ओवर एक्सप्लॉइटेड मतलब वेस्टेज ना किया जा रहा है, वी आर यूजिंग दैट इन वेरी डिसेंट मैनर, दैट आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी कंज्यूम, देर नॉट गोइंग टू बी फिनिश. वो क्या होने वाली है, एक्सटिंक्ट नहीं होने वाली है, एग्जॉस्ट नहीं होने वाली है. बट फ्यूल, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, फ्यूल फ्रॉम एग्रीकल्चरल वेस्ट, फॉरेस्ट एंड एनिमल वेस्ट. सो दीज फ्यूल्स which we are using, if decent way we are using, not exhausting them when necessary, so they are going to be renewable. Fine. So they are not going to be exhaust easily. Fine. But another one are non-renewable fuels. So non-renewable fuel present infinite amount and replenish very slowly. They are present infinite amount and replenished very slowly, get exhausted over a period of time. तो present infinite है, but they are going to be replenished very slowly. बहुत slowly उनको क्या किया जाता है, क्या करा जाएगा, बहुत slowly, बहुत ज्यादा time, million of years required to be made them again. So they are going to be exhausted over a period of time. तो बहुत जल्दी क्योंकि time, certain period of time के बाद they will be exhausted. We are not getting them back very easily, very soon, because it is required a lot of years, billion of years to make them back. So that is require a lot of time. So that is exhausted, which once again got exhausted, very tough to renew them, very tough to उनको find out करना, बनाना वापस से. For example, coal, petroleum and natural gas. So this all about the classification of fuel. First of all, fuel is what? That is undergoing the combustion in the presence of particular oxygen in the air की presence में, when the particular substance which is combustible undergoing combustion, that is called as fuel and producing heat energy. So on the basis of that, different kind of the criterias, we are classifying these fuels. First of all, we have classified on the basis of state of the matter, for example, solid fuel, liquid fuel, gaseous fuel, and before that we have done on the basis of their sources, primary fuel and secondary fuel, then renewable and non-renewable. Fine. So that's all about the classification. Fine, you need to be aware about these things. See, this is very important kind of the classification: renewable and non-renewable, exhausted one and non-exhausted one.